Most definitely. Stutter forward towards the SCV. I mean, how often does that come into play? The trajectory of the shot. But yeah, I think it would have made a difference in this particular case. And DnS is going to be able to save one Adept for now, though it will be chased down by this Helios.
All right, so he's opening up with a Robo and a Dark Shrine. This is the DnS I know and started to love many years ago, but it is very important that he keeps these units outside of his main base. No, Stalker's gonna try to be greedy. No, he goes for a wall up. What is happening? This is so wild.
Yeah, he misplaced that shield battery, but I was with you right there. If that probe wasn't there to finish the wall of the Stalker moving on forward to try to save the Adept, a little bit greedy. Does get rid of one of the Reapers, but this is a decent start for Marinelord trade-wise.
Yep, but it is very important for the Terran player that he figures out what is happening. He's got energy for a scan or a mule. What is Marinelord going to do? Marinelord hasn't dropped the mule yet, so that's very good news for the Frenchman. But he's still going to take damage here, right? Okay, he's starting to build a turret in the natural, but he's still going to end up losing quite a few SCVs. Drops the scan. Quad Prism tries to save the Dark Templars, but that doesn't work out. Great defense by Marinelord.
Yeah, but in the main, he only had one scan available. This turret's not going to complete. 7 workers have already gone down, and a lot of mining time lost as well. The second scan comes in, but not before 8 workers fall. Do you feel like this is... Yeah, who does this favor? I actually have no idea.
It's very close, and every Terran player out there is going to hate me, but I actually think it favors Marinelord. Like, I know he's down in workers, but he does have access to Stim at this point. And I feel like it takes a little while before DnS obviously gets access to a Colossus. You can go Stalkers with Charge. Stalkers with Charge. That'd be sick. You can go Zealots with Charge. But obviously, if you don't have any Blink Stalkers, you're going to have a hard time sniping the medevac. Like, the army supply at this point, I think, is the most important. If Marinelord sits back for 3 minutes and doesn't do anything, obviously this favors DnS. But I feel that this is going to be very difficult for DnS to hold.
Yeah, 2 of those 3 shield batteries go down, so DnS is not taking this lightly. There are no medevacs to heal this for Marinelord, but I also feel like he doesn't have the time to spare, right? He should just move once he's been spotted. I feel like it's now or never. Yeah. Marinelord is gonna go up this ramp. This is the hard part. Only 1 force field available for DnS. I would have almost preferred the Guardian Shield instead, and Marinelord will stim forward onto those Stalkers. Now he's gonna settle, it looks like, for the 3rd.
Oh, yes, the tank is left by itself, and it means the tank goes down. That one Colossus is here, I think, to save the day. Super battery activated as well. And sure, DnS lost a lot of units, but he kept his probes alive, and he kept the Nexus alive. It wasn't a pretty hold, but I'd still say that's a hold.
But a probe will spot them, so Marinelord trying to go in as quickly as possible, but DnS reacting after seeing that probe, bunching up his Stalkers to try and deny the medevacs. Now he's gonna have to relocate some of his army to deal with this, as well as slicing a few to deal with the tank on the low ground. That's very nice.
Okay, he didn't go for the Robo Bay. Yes, a couple of Zealots with Charge are gonna work on the tank on the low ground. DnS, you gotta commit then, though. The Colossus could have kind of helped out, I feel. Not the prettiest defense so far by DnS. Marinelord picks up again. He goes into the main. A lot of Stalkers still here waiting for it. One medevac. No, actually, no medevac goes down yet. Come on, make up your mind, please. Oh my god. Okay, he kills the medevacs, but not before losing all of his Stalkers.
Yeah, still there's a little bit of army remaining here for Marinelord. The Robo Bay will be targeted and it will be taken down. So really nice, making something work with that little squad Marinelord is. At the same time, he's pushing on to the 3rd, where 2 Colossi, Sentries, and Zealots are gonna say no.
This game is so wild at this point. You can really see they're both throwing everything that they have at each other. DnS kind of weathers the storm, but lost his Robo Bay, lost a ridiculous amount of Stalkers. Like, Blink is not even done yet, and 16 Stalkers have gone down. I think DnS is just a bit stressed out right now, and I really can't blame him. This game, obviously, it's an important one. It's game 3 of the series, and they've been on a knife's edge on both sides, right? Like DnS at first with Dark Templars, then Marinelord with non-stop aggression over at the DnS side of the map. DnS lost so many Stalkers even before he had Blink. That was that very weird early push. So I understand that this game is maybe getting a bit too much to make perfect decisions. What I do know is that DnS's army is still very powerful, especially if there's no ghost. But now the tanks are sieged up in a gnarly spot, though.
Yeah, Marinelord managing to make a lot of progress out on the map with those tanks and sieging them, like you said, in a gnarly position. But no! This Disruptor does get some units. Marinelord kind of overextending out of range of his own siege tanks. He has to continue to slow push. and these disruptors have been the bane of him. At the same time, he has lost additional SCVs, now putting him behind in economy.
This is the fight. I love it by DnS. He realized that 2 of the tanks were not sieged and he moved forward immediately. He's like, all right, moving into 4 tanks, that's a little complicated. But if only 2 of your tanks are sieged up, then I'm just going for it. And DnS right now taking the supply lead. That is a very ambitious forward blink. Eats an EMP as well, but he's still shaving off quite a few Terran units here.
Yeah, and that looks pretty good, especially after dealing that backstab damage at the same time. He is gonna be set up to populate his 4th now, whereas Marinelord is just starting his. So DnS in a very strong position of that defense.
Yeah, I think Marinelord got a bit too eager there. He's like, all right, I'm gonna unsiege 2 of my tanks, and that's all that DnS needed to see to just pounce on that army. And obviously goals weren't really there yet the first time that those 2 armies clashed. So very well done. The game is far from over, because Marinelord is still ahead in upgrades. Like, DnS is working on his +2, and his +2 is about to finish up. But in like 10 seconds, Marinelord will have an armor upgrade advantage. I gotta say, I like the army of DnS a whole lot more though.
Yeah, I like that map was showing us those Liberators, as they could really turn the tides. If Marinelord gets a hold and some kills on the other side of the map, that could be exactly what he needs to get a grip on this game. So let's see how DnS reacts. He's already situated with 4 Stalkers in perfect position at the south. Northbound is the 2nd Liberator, and there's nothing here, but there's also nothing else going out on the map. So expect DnS to not lose too many probes.
Well, loses 4 at this point. That army of Marinelord is moving out. We only have a single tank, single Liberator. Like, Marinelord's army is way more mobile. But DnS shouldn't obviously just chase this army around the map. DnS should just try to force a fight somewhere. Even if it means losing a base, he's going to recall half of his army. One of the Colossus very exposed. The second one as well. Oh no, that was a terrible recall. What a fantastic trade for Marinelord.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely caught off position, but he was closer to just walking back. And the problem with recalling, for anyone watching that's not aware, is that your units don't get to attack right away when they get recalled. So there's a little bit of a cooldown where they just take damage. Colossi, being as frail as they are, all fall. And Marinelord now with the splits against these disruptors.
That went so good for Marinelord. Oh, DnS, indeed. His army was like, what was it? Like, 3-4 seconds away from just walking over. Yeah, maybe that Nexus would have gone down, but that probably would have been better than losing a Disruptor and 2 or 3 Colossi. There's 1 Liberator still being annoying in the main base. This game is so close. Like, DnS is really getting a lot to work with, and he should be winning this game. But Marinelord is like, nope, I ain't going down without a fight. And here we are. I feel like, I don't know. They've been throwing random stuff at each other for the last 7 minutes.
Yeah, here's where I would love to have like an analyst looking at every replay of StarCraft 2 ever to tell me if that was the closest recall out in a professional game. Like, I don't think I've seen a shorter recall ever.
Oh, well, I've seen a recall the other day that was literally right next to the Nexus. He wanted to evacuate the Nexus, but then he recalled his army to it. So we've seen shorter recalls, Cats, but it wasn't a pretty one.
Non-intentional, then.
Not true. All right, big drop in the main base. This can actually be very complicated. Don't forget that DnS could still warp in Dark Templars. I feel like you should always warp in a DT immediately, let them scan, and then warp in more. A lot of his gateways are about to be unpowered. Cats, why is DnS not reacting to this?
I'm not sure. I was thinking it's so very difficult to react with that many disruptors as well. It's not the kind of unit that is easy to split. It's a death volley type army that he has. But my god, is he taking damage? Is it dying? I want to see. Is that Archon up? Can we look at that Archon?
Yeah,
the Archon get cleaned up.
Yeah.
Oh, he died.
It lived for a while. It's like, all right, I'll hold the door. Doctor should blink and kill the medevacs here. Come on, DnS. Yep, that's the first one. Does not pick up the second one. DnS stabilizes but loses 9 probes. And obviously, Kat, I think what you said there is very important. Disruptors are terrible in dealing with drops. And Marina's like, all right, that's it. Like, if you're walking around with 7-8 disruptors, I'm just going to start dropping you. Because taking a fight head-on is so damn difficult. But yeah, dropping against disruptors isn't all that complicated.
Yeah, and I love what Marinelord did there. That was a 3-pronged harass. I would love for him to continue on with that approach because it's clearly difficult for DnS to deal with. That said, he did pretty good, all things considered, right? Just a few probes going down.
Yes, now Rico is going to be used once again, but is not aware of this massive army on the bottom left side of the map. Marinelord doesn't know about the base on the left bottom, but he's going to try to just pounce on this Nexus. Could maybe pick off a Robo as well. There's a lot of tech here. Colossus pop, Colossus dies, Robo falls, Nexus falls. What a great move by Marinelord.
Templar Archives will also fall, and that Rico has to be a little bit sketch, as there were not that many units up there, and yeah, this is rough. Marinelord actually pouncing onto the army, seeing an opportunity to perhaps end the game, or at least take a very favorable engagement. One of those stalkers gets sacrificed to the Disruptor's Nova. And Marinelord, I mean, if he had caught wind of this extra base on the south, I feel like he would have just walked there and killed it too.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine he splits off 2 Marauders, 3 Marines, kills that pylon, and all those probes are left for dead as well, right? Marinelord has played a great game, but he still needs to worry about a terrifying Protoss army that's about to knock on his door. And Cats, he doesn't have a proper answer against Colossus. He only has 2 Vikings, 1 tank. This is it. This is obviously not a planetary fortress either. EMP ends on a couple of sentries and zealots. If I'm DNS, I just go for it here.
Yeah, and if I'm Marinelord, I think I evacuate, Roddy. Your units are already kind of low here, though. A lot of what? A lot of those zealots are pretty bruised, but so are the bio units of Marinelord, and he really doesn't have that many medevacs out. DTs defensively, very, very nice, but Marinelord on top of it with the scan, still holding on back at home. The longer this goes, the better it is for Marinelord.
Yes, and he should be able to win that fight as well. But I don't know if he's going to win against this fight. This massive Protoss army shows no mercy. More and more Novas going forward. And the only thing that Marinelord really can do is run back. Eventually he's forced to fight, but another massive Nova explodes in the middle of the army.